Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fun Fact Magic Channel. Do you know what the name Tokyo really means? Or where the name Paris comes from? And the Canary Islands, are they really named after canary birds? Most of us never think about city names, but they often hide strange, surprising, and even completely wrong meanings. Today we're diving into the real stories behind 10 famous cities, and some of them might change the way you look at the world. Let's get started. Number 1. Tokyo, the Eastern capital. Tokyo is one of the busiest and most modern cities in the world, but the name is actually very simple. It means Eastern capital. In the 1800s, Japan moved its capital from Kyoto, which just means capital, to the east. So the new capital was called Tokyo, the capital in the east. It's not a futuristic name, it's just a direction. Number 2. Canary Islands, named after dogs, not birds. Most people think the Canary Islands are named after canary birds, but that's not how it started. A long time ago, when explorers arrived at these islands, they didn't find special birds. They found large wild dogs. In Latin, the name was Insula Canaria, which means island of dogs. That's how the islands got their name. Later on, people noticed small, colorful birds living on those islands. They took some of the birds to Europe, and those birds became popular. Because the birds came from the Canary Islands, people started calling them canary birds. So here's the truth. The islands were named after dogs, and the birds were named after the islands, not the other way around. Number 3. Rio de Janeiro, January River. Rio de Janeiro is known for beaches, music, and celebration, but the name means River of January. When Portuguese explorers arrived in January 1502, they saw a large bay. They thought it was a river. It wasn't, but the name stayed. So Rio de Janeiro means January River, even though there's no river there. Number 4. Cairo, named after the planet Mars. The name Cairo sounds ancient and powerful, and it is. When the city was founded in the year 969, the people who built it looked up at the night sky. They saw the red planet Mars, which they called Al-Kahir in Arabic. Mars was known as the planet of war and strength, so they named the city Al-Kahira, which means the victorious, inspired by the planet. Over time, the name became Cairo in English. So yes, this famous city is actually named after a planet. Not a god, not a king, but Mars, the warrior in the sky. Number 5. Sydney, named after a government secretary. Sydney, in Australia, is a famous city with beaches and sunshine. But its name is simple. It was named after Lord Sydney, a British government secretary in the 1700s. He helped plan the first British colony in Australia, so the settlers named the city to thank him. It wasn't about the land, the people, or the sea, just a man in an office back in England. Number 6. Shanghai, a city above the sea. Shanghai is one of the biggest and most modern cities in China, but the name is simple and very old. It comes from two Chinese words. Shang means above or upon, and hai means sea. So the name Shanghai means on the sea or above the sea. The city began as a small fishing village along the coast. Over time, it grew into a major port and global city, but the name still reminds us of where it all started, right by the sea. Number 7. Istanbul. It just means to the city. Istanbul, in Turkey, used to be called Constantinople. But over time, Greek speakers started calling it Ixtinpolin, which means to the city. Because it was the biggest city around, they didn't need to say the name, just the city. Eventually, that phrase turned into the name Istanbul, so the city's name just means to the city. Number 8. New York, a gift to the Duke of York. Before it was New York, it was called New Amsterdam, a Dutch city in North America. In 1664, the British took over and renamed it after the Duke of York, the brother of the king. So the name simply means New City for the Duke of York. It's one of the world's biggest cities, but it's named after one man from British royalty. Number 9. Moscow, a city with a mystery name. Moscow, the capital of Russia, gets its name from the Moskva River. But no one knows for sure what Moskva really means. Some think it means dark water, some say wetland, and others believe it might mean bear. So Moscow could mean wet river, bear river, or something else entirely. It's still a mystery. Number 10. Paris, named after an ancient tribe. Paris, the city of love, art, and fashion, was named after an ancient tribe. Over 2,000 years ago, a Celtic tribe called the Parisii lived by the Seine River. The Romans built a city there and named it after them, Paris. So it has nothing to do with romance. It just means the place where the Parisii lived. What about your city? Now you know the stories behind these 10 famous cities. But what about the place where you live? Does your city have a name with a strange meaning? A name from history, a language, or maybe even a mistake? Tell us in the comments. We might feature it in a future episode. Thanks for watching Fun Fact Magic. If you enjoyed learning something new today, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you next time with more facts, more fun, and more magic. Goodbye.